everyone, and welcome to lesson 17 of today's English videos. Today we're going to talk about adverbs. What is an adverb? An adverb is a word that modifies or describes a verb. For example, he sings loudly, or an adjective, very tall, or another adverb, ended too quickly, or even a whole sentence. Fortunately, I had brought an umbrella. Adverbs often end in ly, but some, such as fast, look exactly the same as their adjective counterparts. Here are some examples. Jessica did not run badly. Tom is very tall. The race finished too quickly. Fortunately, Lucy recorded Tom's win. So in the first sentence, badly is modifying the verb run. In the second sentence, very is modifying the adjective tall. In the third sentence, to is modifying the adverb quickly, and quickly is modifying the verb finished. And in the last sentence, fortunately is modifying the whole sentence. It's easy to identify adverbs in these sentences. Adverbs and verbs. Adverbs often modify verbs. This means that they describe the way an action is happening. For example, Philip sings loudly in the shower. My cat waits impatiently for his food. I will seriously consider your suggestion. In the first sentence, loudly modifies the verb sing. In the second sentence, impatiently modifies the verb wait, and in the third sentence, seriously modifies the verb consider. The adverbs in each of these sentences answer the question, in what manner? How does Philip sing? Loudly. How does my cat wait? Impatiently. How will I consider your suggestion? Seriously. Adverbs can answer other types of questions about how an action was performed. They can also tell you when, we arrived early, and where, turn here. Here's a note to take into consideration. There is one type of verb that doesn't mix well with adverbs. Linking verbs such as feel, smell, sound, seem, and appear typically need adjectives, not adverbs. I've talked about these in my previous video about adjectives. If you haven't watched that video yet, you can find the link to it in the description box below. A very common example of this type of mix-up is, I feel badly about what happened. Because feel is a verb, it seems to call for an adverb rather than an adjective, but feel isn't just any verb, it's a linking verb. An adverb would describe how you perform the action of feeling. An adjective describes what you feel. I feel badly means that you are bad at feeling things. Adverbs and adjectives. Adverbs can also modify adjectives and other adverbs. Often the purpose of the adverb is to add a degree of intensity to the adjective. For example, the woman is quite pretty. This book is more interesting than the last one. The weather report is almost always right. So in the first sentence, quite is describing the adjective pretty. In the second sentence, more is describing the adjective interesting. And in the last sentence, the adverb almost is modifying the adverb always, and they're both modifying the adjective right. Here are some examples. Is my singing too loud? Asked Philip. My cat is incredibly happy to have his dinner. We will be slightly late to the meeting. This bridesmaid dress is a very unflattering shade of red. So as you can see, the adjectives are in blue and the adverbs are in purple. Too is describing loud, incredibly is describing happy, slightly is describing late, and very is describing unflattering. Adverbs and other adverbs. You can use an adverb to describe another adverb. In fact, if you wanted to, you could use several. Check out this example of several adverbs being used in the same sentence. Philip sings rather enormously too loudly. The problem is that it often produces weak and clunky sentences like the one above, so be careful not to overdo it. So this sentence has too many adverbs, that's why it's really weak. Compare it to the sentence below. Philip sings very loudly. So here you got your point across in a very simple and concise way. So the second sentence is much clearer. Adverbs and sentences. Some adverbs can modify entire sentences. Unsurprisingly, these are called sentence adverbs. Common ones include generally, fortunately, interestingly, and accordingly. Sentence adverbs don't describe one particular thing in the sentence. Instead, they describe a general feeling about all of the information in the sentence. Here are some examples. Fortunately, we got there in time. Interestingly, no one at the auction seemed interested in bidding on the antique spoon collection. So both of these adverbs modify the whole sentence. Degree of comparison. Like adjectives, adverbs can show degrees of comparison, although it's slightly less common to use them this way. With certain flat adverbs, which are adverbs that look exactly the same as their adjective counterparts, the comparative and superlative forms look the same as the adjective comparative and superlative forms. Let's take a look at the word fast. She is faster than her sister. In this sentence, it's an adjective, because faster comes after a linking verb. She runs faster than her sister. In this sentence, it's an adverb, because faster comes after an action verb. It's usually better to use stronger adverbs or stronger adjectives and verbs rather than relying on comparative and superlative adverbs. An absolute adverb describes something in its own right. For example, he smiled warmly. A hastily written note. To make the comparative form of an adverb that ends in ly, add the word more. He smiled more warmly than the others. The more hastily written note contained the clue. To make the superlative form of an adverb that ends in ly, add the word most. He smiled most warmly of them all. The most hastily written note on the desk was overlooked. Placement of adverbs. Place adverbs as close as possible to the words they are supposed to modify. Putting the adverb in the wrong spot can produce an awkward sentence at best and completely change the meaning at worst. Be especially careful about the word only, which is one of the most often misplaced modifiers. Consider the difference between these two sentences. Philip only fed the cat. Philip fed only the cat. The first sentence means that all Philip did was feed the cat. He didn't pet the cat or pick it up or anything else. The second sentence means that Philip fed the cat, but he didn't feed the dog, the bird, or anyone else who might have been around. When an adverb is modifying a verb phrase, the most natural place for the adverb is usually the middle of the phrase. So as you can see in the sentence, the adverb is in purple and the verb phrase is in italics. So here we have the adverb in the middle of the verb phrase. We are quickly approaching the deadline. Philip has always loved singing. I will happily assist you. When to avoid adverbs. When your verb or adjective doesn't seem powerful or precise enough, instead of reaching for an adverb to add more color, try reaching for a stronger verb or adjective instead. Most of the time, you'll come up with a better word and your writing will be stronger for it. That's it for today. I hope you enjoyed today's video. Thanks for watching. As always, see you in the next one.